Hi there, and welcome to the Bongo IT All You Need to Know series. Today we'll be looking at using Office 365 offline. In this part we'll be looking at Outlook offline, the basics of how to send and receive emails, create a signature, folders, and searching. So, to get started we'll have to open up Outlook. I've pinned mine to my taskbar, so it's very easy to open. Now, you may not get this screen immediately. I already had mine open, so what you're likely to get is this square here. You may also have to log in if you're using a shared computer or have multiple addresses on one account. You should have a screen similar to this one. This is the email screen, and if you look down here on the bottom left side, you can see I've got my email screen, which I'm currently on. This is calendar screen. I've got people, and I have recent things. This is like a to-do list. This is pretty much just a calendar, but more concise and all put together in a nice list. And here is a few more options for navigation, folders, and shortcuts. So using this, I could create a shortcut for a certain email and place it onto my desktop. But today we're going to be focusing mainly on the email page right here. So to start off, you can click on this little tab up here which says File, and this will take you to this screen. This is your account screen. So here, if you have multiple accounts, they will both show up here. You can switch between them this way, and to add an account, you click here. This little window will pop up. You can enter a name, email address, password, and retype it. And it's very simple to go through these little steps here, and you can also have a manual setup via your server and things like that. That's rather complicated. You might have to get your manager to help you with that. But if you're doing it on your own, all of this information should be provided for you, and it should be quite straightforward. So, we've talked before about how to use Outlook online, and I showed a few examples of what the new email button looked like. In Outlook Online, it has a little plus on the top bar, and up here it's always in the Home tab in the top left with a little letter. You can also do Control-N, as it says there, to create a new email. And it will normally pop up in a different window. And here you have tons of options to do with your email, which we'll probably get into in another video. These other tabs often help with, for example, sending and receiving. So you can send and receive all of your folders. You can update folders so that if you're expecting an email to come through and it hasn't come through yet, you can do that, and it's like a little refresh of the folder you have selected. You can send all of your emails. You can set groups to send and receive. You can download address books from your server. You can show progress of downloads and cancel sending and things like that. Download headers for your emails, mark things to download, and download certain emails onto your hard drive. And you can have preferences, change settings on there. You can work offline. This will just disconnect you from the server, and you won't receive any emails, but you'll be able to draft your own emails and things like that. Here is the folder settings. Here you can create a new folder. So if I want to make a new one, I just do test, and I can select inbox, and it'll appear over here. This is a whole new folder. You can also right click and create a new folder. So this is a subfolder. You can copy, move, and delete them. You can clean it up, get rid of all the clutter and things like that. You can move it up one, so now it's under inbox, and you can move to favorites. You can adjust the properties of it and things like that. And for this one right now, I'm just going to delete this folder. Normally you would start off with a few favorites up here in the top left of your little folders menu. So you'll have inbox, which is your standard everyday inbox where all of your emails go to normally. You'll have clutter, which is normally junk mail, kind of thing. Sent items, these are all of the items that you've sent out. Here's one I sent out a few videos ago. This is just a little example one. And of course you have all these little tabs to open and close. You have drafts for emails that you haven't sent but have written. And of course deleted items. For all of the items that you've recently deleted, you can easily recover them. And if you delete something here, it will delete it permanently. So if I deleted that, that's gone forever now. So, in new email, I'll just cover the basics for the moment. So, if I wanted to send an email, say, to my colleague Andrew, I could select him, and that'll go into 2. If I wanted to CC in my other colleague Justin, that'll put him in there. That'll put him there, but I could also just move that down to there. That was just left click and drag. I can hit OK, and they'll appear up here. I could type in the subject, and then enter the body of my email here, which will just be example again. And here you have a little section which is called basic text. This is like Microsoft Word, pretty much exactly the same, and you could adjust fonts, font sizes, colors. You can set bullet points, numbers, underline, bold, italics, you know, standard stuff. Here you can attach a file. So here I can browse my computer and I can choose a file to attach. And that will basically just appear up in this top bar. Say if I was to attach this, our logo here, that'll just appear up there. That won't appear in the email. But if I wanted to have it appear in the email, I could either copy it over and paste it over, or if I go to insert, I should be able to click on pictures and then set in a picture there, and that'll put it straight into my email. And this opens up the picture tools. Here I can do basic picture editing, increase brightness and contrast, change the color, add a few effects, reset it to its previous position, add a border, change the layout of it, so I can add text, captions, I can rotate, align. The most useful one is probably this one, wrap text, where it'll allow you to change how your text interacts with your image. So say if I have it at the moment of inline with text, this means it acts exactly like it would if it was just a big chunk of text. I can have it as a square, which means the text will go around it, but it will not be affected by spaces and things like that. So I can move this wherever I want now. Of course you're more limited than you are in Windows, in Office Word or PowerPoint or things like that, because this is still just an email. You can do top and bottom here, which will also mean I have text on the top and on the bottom down there. And it'll split the text up. I could have behind text, where all the text should be in front of it. It's quite hard to see, but you can clearly see our logo here, and a few of these, our telephone number there. You can have in front of text, which means it'll appear in front of it, and here you can see it's just blocking out all of that. And of course you can add more layout options. This is just a bigger menu where you can change the size and things like that. But let's go back to inline with text. So this is my image. It's quite big, so I can make it smaller by grabbing and dragging this bottom corner up here, just as you would in Microsoft Word or anything like that. If I didn't want to send this email now, I could either hit the X button, or I could click on the save up here. Now that's saved into drafts. There it is. And now I can make edits to this here, and I can still send it here and do a few edits with these up here, or I can pop it out and I'll be right back over here. Now, I didn't press the save button that time, I just clicked X. So here it comes up with the standard, do you want to save your changes? And I can hit yes for that. And there's my edit right there. And that's so I don't want to keep this email, so I'll just click on discard for the moment. That'll move it into my deleted items. If I wanted to restore it, I can click and drag it over to inbox, and it'll appear in my inbox. I can move it back to drafts, and it'll appear in my drafts. I can also right click, go down to move, and it'll give me an option of a few folders here. Maybe I want to set this, maybe this isn't a very high importance email. Maybe my colleagues are quite busy at the moment and I don't want to be bothering them with this example email that I've just created. So I could set it to low importance. Now, this means it'll appear with a little down arrow that you saw up here, this one up here, and it'll appear below high importance emails. But say I know that they're not very busy and I want them to see this just to prove that I'm making this edit right here, and I can set it to high importance. This will make it a little exclamation mark and also make it red, and make it red outlined so you can clearly see that it's of high importance. You can also assign a policy so that it'll delete within 30 days or 6 months or never. This is just for this one email. That's about all you need to know about making emails for the moment. Let's head on over to the calendar menu. Here is the calendar screen. As you can see here, I have my own calendar on the left and one of my colleagues' calendars on the right. Now, I don't have permissions to edit his calendar. I'm only allowed to look and see what he's doing so I know what's going on. If you look over to the left here, you can see that my calendars are separate to the shared calendars, and I can turn this on and off and on and off. And there's also additional calendars, so the UK holidays, they can appear here, birthdays, if anyone has any birthdays coming up they'll appear in there, and you can also get rid of them by clicking the X up there. Now, if you want to create a new event, you can just select a day. So let's select tomorrow, which is ironically my day off, and it'll come up in this little box here, so I can just say example. So this is just an example, and if you hover over it, if you just hover over this like that, you'll have to click off of it like I just did then. It'll show me that it starts on the 18th at midnight and ends at the 19th at midnight. There's no reminder set. So here I can right click and I can invite people. And this will let me invite my colleagues, say Andrew here. So I can double click there, it'll add him into here. And I could double click on my colleague Justin, add them into there, and just like with emails, you can click and drag names over into different sections. And then once you're happy with who you're sending it to, you can just hit OK. It'll be up here just like an email, except it'll have this little start and end time here. And you can change these with these little calendars, or just by editing the date yourself and editing the time yourself. Be sure to uncheck all day event if you want to edit the times. You can also set locations and rooms if you have them. I don't have any at the moment, but your company may have these rooms set up. So I don't want to save these changes as that was just an example. And it's still there. So to delete this, for me, I can just hit delete. Or, if I just remake it, I can click it, I can right click, and I can go to delete. That's the basics of emails and calendars. I'm Michael from Bongo IT. Thanks for watching.